Ripple XRP emergency. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. XRP Army in the house. We are green, baby. We are really green. Very exciting. So today we have an awesome video for you. XRP Ripple information. We're going to be checking the charts for XRP. We're going to look at the weekly, the daily, and the 4-hour charts for XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Shiba Inu. So stick with me for that. We're also going to be jumping into the news, finding out what is going on. Is there any news behind the pump? We will take a look at that today as well. We'll also dive into the crypto news as a whole in the entire ecosystem. And hey, if you're new here, my name is Ryan Huggins. I'm a crypto and real estate investor here in Orange County, California. And my job is to help be your crypto shortcut. Because if you're like most people, you probably can't spend all day reading through all these articles, going through a bunch of YouTube videos, and then checking the charts all day when you have other things to do. Well, that's what I do. That is my job. I do all of that, and I bring that information to you in a condensed manner. So if you're looking for a crypto shortcut, smash that subscribe button. We would be glad to have you here for sure. Also, as a bonus for you, thank you for watching. If this video gets 5,000 likes, I'm going to throw an additional $100 to one of you lucky comments down below. So here we are on the daily chart, up 23% on the day. Very exciting to see. We are running to a little bit of resistance here. So that's what we're going to dive into. You can see it ran right into this spot, which is okay. That is not a big deal. Let's go ahead and pull up the RSI for us as well to see if it's got some more steam behind it, or does it need to refuel up? So here we are on the RSI taking a look. You can see we have plenty of room to continue going up before we get to the 70 level of the RSI, where you would be considered overbought. Obviously, we can even pump past that. So you can see in the past, we've been all the way up into the 75 range, all the way up over here. It went off the scale. Let me rescale this. See, this one was up in 85 and so on and so forth. So there is definitely more room to go. Now, the one thing that I do cover a lot here on this channel and on this segment when we're talking about pumps to the upside is fair value gaps or imbalances. So, and it's not a bad thing because price can not only move up in one direction, but what you'll see here is as we turn on the fair value gaps, we do have some extreme gaps to the downside. So what is a fair value gap? Well, a fair value gap is the difference. So this is the candle body here. The candle before it has a wick and a body. Well, the wick only went to this level here, as you can see. So let's go ahead and mark this right here. There's a wick. It stops right there, okay? Now the candle on the opposite side of it also has a wick, and you can see the wick stopped right there, leaving this imbalance in price, a fair value gap. So now you can see when we turn this back on, you can see right there, that's our fair value gap. Price does not like to leave gaps. In fact, you can look here, and we talked about this actually when we were talking about the move to the upside. Look at this fair value gap. We go all the way back in history to here, all the way back. May 10th of 2022, it left this massive daily fair or 4-hour fair value gap right here. And look exactly where price came and filled exactly that spot. So you can look in the past too. Look at, there was a big fair value gap. Look, boop, it went exactly to that spot and then came back down. And then this fair value gap, price was way up here, came all the way back down, filled that. So we have a ton of awesome excitement for XRP, emergency XRP meeting right now, because we are taking off to the upside. Very exciting. On the 4-hour, you can see we are here now at the 75 level of the RSI, extremely overbought at the moment. You can also see our market baseline here, this yellow line. In fact, let's go ahead and let's turn this line up. Let's crank up the volume on this line so you can see it way better. Here we go. Crank it. Boom. Solid. All right. And actually, let's turn it to yellow instead of orange so we can even see it better. Okay. So now we have this yellow market baseline. Now we also have these peaks and also the bottoms. And so the peaks and bottoms, those are blue. Let's go ahead and turn those all the way up to volume as well. And then we'll also do the lower side too. Okay. And then we're going to change the default settings to, let me minus here, close this out. Settings, defaults, save as default. RSI, down here, settings, defaults, save as defaults. Okay, cool. Now we can see a little better. So you got your blue lines here, and then you've also got your yellow line. In fact, let's go ahead and make these blue lines white so that way you can really see them because they are important. Okay. And then also save those as default. So there we go. So now you have your yellow line in the middle, you have your white line right here, and then you have your RSI line going through right here. So as price reaches this white line, that is extended out above and beyond the volatility band. It can poke through there. Typically, though, when it reaches the top, it'll actually come back to the baseline, if not through the baseline, all the way to the downside. So that's how we read this tool down here. That's what we're using that for. And as you can see right now on the 4-hour, we are overextended. What also do we have going on? Well, we have some fair value gaps to fill. Now, the one thing that I would take into consideration right now is if this were to come back down and fill these fair value gaps, does that mean XRP is crashing? No, it does not. It's actually doing us a favor and getting that out of the way. However, when we switch over here to the weekly charts, we have a different situation, okay? So as we can see, we're moving this move to the upside. We are not to the Bollinger Band or the volatility band, whichever you'd prefer to call it. So there is more move to the upside. We have 3 days, 1 hour left on this weekly candle, and then there's the move up. Now, what you'll notice here, we do have a fair value gap on the weekly candle developing. Right here was the wick. Price has extremely overshot that. And right now, price is so far up, the fair value gap is not shining, right? It's not like this one here or the red one to the downside. It's not showing us right now because the candle is not closed. It only shows after the candle closed. We have 3 days, 1 hour left. Now, what's also exciting, watch, check this out. Now, we're going to go, you can see that this fair value gap is getting filled on this weekly chart. This all started getting filled. And right now, it has that white line. There's the white line right there. That is the 50% level. I'll show you this here. So if you would like to turn this on, you can actually do the midpoint fill, okay? The midpoint fill, and that is that white line. So that is right at that 50% level of that fair value gap filled in. So check this out. Let's go replay tool. Let's go back here a couple of weeks. Look at how big that fair value gap is. And now let's watch this play out in real time. So this week, boom, candle turns on. It's making its move to the upside. Came back down. Look at what it did. It filled that fair value gap that was there. See that? There was one there. The wick went and just cleaned it out and then went away. All right. Then the next weekly candle starts to make its move up. The next weekly candle starts to make its move up. Has a really good push. Let's see. Oh, there's a fair value. Oh, it fills it up, right? So you can see that typically the candles will fill the fair value gaps or imbalances immediately and not run away with price like it has here. So just keep that in mind. It's really exciting about where we're going. We are leaving a little bit of potential move to the downside here. That's the one thing that I wanted to cover. And then what we'll do is we'll look here on the daily charts. You can see there is a fair value gap that we still need to fill from back here on May 10th, 2022. And it's on its way up to that now. Looking at the RSI, we popped out of the Bollinger Band, and it has so much momentum right now and so much volume coming in. Watch this. Check this out too. Indicators, volume here. You can see, look at this volume, guys. Look at this. So it was chilling. There's news. Oh my gosh. The SEC and the XRP filed their briefs, the summary briefings. Is the court case coming to an end? Boom. People start piling in. We don't know the answer to that yet. But as you can see, we are getting some really, really good push from that. So that's really exciting. Now, let's take a look at, okay, where could price be going based upon supply and demand for XRP? One of the things that we talked about and we've been covering for a long time with XRP is this candle right here being the tallest candle. This was the highest green candle before it took this drop to the downside, right? This was the highest green candle. It needed to break a body above that candle and claim it as support. Well, as you can see right now, it has broken a body above that level. It's going to now be a support level. So we'll watch over the next 4 hours And right now we do have 56 minutes left in this daily candle. Looking here at the 4 hour, we already covered this a little bit. And look at where that fair value gap runs to, right? So that 4 hour fair value gap, it is likely price comes here and reclaims that as a support. So over the next few hours, maybe it trickles down, boom, it lands here. We do not want it to go below here. We want it to test it and then make its way up to the next level. So jumping back over to here, and let's look at the supply and demand levels. Turn the fair value gap off. We go back in history because now we know that we've already surpassed this line as of right now, right? So we've taken that level out. Well, the next level to the upside on this 4 hour level is right here. This last green candle before this down move, that would be our 4 hour supply and demand level. And then after we take that and create a support level there, the next level up from there is right here. Okay. So now this was in the past. So this level was from May 7th. This level right here is from May 10th. Now let's take a look at how perfect price comes to those levels. All right. So what's exciting, price has not hit that level yet on the 4 hour. So we have room to go. This is really, really good news. And as we take a look here, there is room to move to the upside here. We look on the daily candle, there's definitely room to make a move there. So really, really cool stuff there. The body has gotten above this line, but not quite to there. So check this out. We go back to Heikin Ashi. We're on the 4 hour charts. Now the 4 hour charts, there is too much movement that happened on the 4 hour charts, right? So there's got to be something else. There's got to be some sort of interference here below us a little bit. So what do? We drop down to the 1 hour charts. Now we go back in time on the 1 hour charts. We go right to this origination section where we originated in price. All right, so this is where we're at on that 4 hour level. And let's take a look. Where could we be on the 1 hour level? Well, we have this as a 1 hour potential, but we know we're a little bit lower than that. So where would be the last green candle before the down move? So this would be the last green candle before the down move, last green candle down move. So it looks like this one is where we would be at on the 1 hour. Okay, and let's change this color to blue for the 1 hour chart. And then after that, we do have this section here. This candle covers that. So we can lower this a little bit. Go to like that. Okay, so now that covers that section. And now let's go take a look. All right, now we'll have to color this one also in blue. Blue and blue. So that way we remember that those are the colors we're looking for. Okay, so now we'll go back to our current time. We're on the 1 hour time frame. Switch to Japanese candlesticks. So take a look. That supply and demand zone in the past, we broke through it. And right now it's using it as a support. So that's really good, right? So we know that this is a support for the time being. We want to keep that. The one thing that we do have to continue to worry about, fair value gaps. So even here on the 1 hour charts, those potentially could be filled. So now that we have that information there, okay, so let's say that this section is a top. Let's say that that's a local top and price is going to come back down, hit the fair value gaps, take off to the upside. Well, what we can do is we can go from the most recent swing low to that swing high. Here, swing low to that swing high. Now we look at our Fibonacci and we take a look, okay, where could price come back to? The golden ratio. If we're coming back to the golden ratio sections here, that would be bringing us back to a 35, 36, 38 cent range before the next boost to the upside. Now, this is hypothetical. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Do not buy or sell anything because we're talking about it on this channel. This is just what we're taking a look at here as far as price goes. So price moved all the way up to here. We could potentially see it come back into the golden zone and then make that next level. Because what we need, now that we have a higher high, we do need a higher low. Then we need another higher high. Then we need another higher low and another higher high. And we start that market structure change for XRP to the upside. All right, so the main thing I'm looking here on this chart is the big fair value gap. We do have currently on the daily candle 50 minutes left. We are pushing to the upside. It's running out a little bit of a juice here. And we're going to watch to see if we have a little bit of a correction back down to fill those gaps. But up 25% on the day. Very exciting. Now, Ethereum. Ethereum also making a move today. Everyone was counting Ethereum out. Ethereum is dead. No one is going to want Ethereum anymore. It's over. The merge happened. Now we're having an extreme crash. Well, we did have a pretty decent fall, right? So if we're looking here on the daily, it's one of those buy the hype, sell the news types of situations. So as we can see right here, price on the supply and demand zones has a couple of levels. Ethereum, these are daily, the yellows, these are daily to the upside, and we have a daily to the downside. So as you can see, this is the last red candle before the up move. And this would be an area as well, but we didn't really play that one. We just did the top and the bottom. So the top and the bottom, and then in between, we used the most recent top. This may be the most recent bottom. We could see another move to the upside. But what we did instead is we dove a little deeper and we just went to a smaller time frame. So we went to the 4-hour candles. And this is actually where we were recording yesterday. As soon as I got finished recording, it had this crazy, crazy crash. And it came right exactly to the 4-hour supply and demand zone, 12,000 or 1,220. Rebounded off of that nicely, which is good. We'll look at the Japanese candlesticks now. So I find the supply and demand zones in the Heikinashis, and then I switch back to the Japanese. Now, what you can see is it has moved back to the top side of this supply and demand zone, and it's claimed it as a support as of right now. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. You can see it bounced in there. So literally this candle we're in right now is the first candle that's attempting to be a solid, heavy close above that. Now you can see we had 2 weak little 15-minute closes here, but they dropped. This one's looking like it's going to try to hold some strength here for Ethereum above this supply and demand zone. If we hold that level, then the next level to the upside is this 1445. And then ultimately what we need to do on Ethereum is reclaim that 1475 level. We reclaim 1475, we can continue our way up, and then ultimately getting up here to the daily supply and demand zone of 1693 again. So we're going to continue watching that. If this is a fake rally, as you can see, we've moved to the upside. We are at the top of our Bollinger Band here / volatility band, poking through. So we may be running out of steam on this one as well, where we could see a continued drop there. And if we turn on our fair value gaps, you can see it's come down and filled. There's some down here that are not filled yet. And that also comes into play with our daily supply and demand level at the bottom of $1,120. Okay. Now we would have to go back into some extreme history to find our next levels to the downside, but we're not doing that in today's video. I will just jump here to the weekly candles really quickly, and you can see there's a massive fair value gap here on the weekly to the downside that gets us, I mean, the bottom level of this is down here at like 750. Now this right now we're saying, oh, that'll never be filled. That'll never be filled. There's even one down here, 275. We did also say that about the fair value gap on our next coin, Shiba Inu. So as we come over here to Shiba Inu, we take a look. Let's go ahead and take a look at this, okay? So there was a fair value gap right here, a weekly fair value gap, because when this took off to the upside, it left this gap here. When it was up here, we're like, oh, price will never come back down into a 5-0 territory. Well, it did. You know, I mean, literally everyone said that was impossible, and it filled that gap. So taking a look here at Shiba Inu, we can see this previous week, the week of September 12th, it was a very fast and hard fall. The wick was here. We're on this current candle here. It looks like it wants to move up here and fill this gap. That gap gets us back up to quad 01173. That's the bottom of this level here. Let's go ahead and tag that. Boom. And right now, though, it's running into an extreme resistance. This was an extreme support. This was that quad 01113 zone. It had been a support on a much smaller time frame for a very long time. So you can see right here on our 4-hour level here, there was a lot of action right in between those zones, support, resistance, and so on. Okay, so Shiba Inu's RSI is up at the top of its volatility band as well. Volume, not very heavy right now, kind of weak on the volume side. And the fair value gaps, we do have some to the upside. We actually have a massive one to the upside, and that is inside of our daily supply and demand zone box. Switch that to here. Our daily supply and demand zone box here of quad 01250. But there is also an extreme one laying right on top of our downside supply and demand box down here at 50835. If price were to fall to 50835, it would clear out all of the downside fair value gaps. That would leave clear sailing to the upside. All right, now if we, and that's on the daily, so that's really, really important. As we check here on the weekly, there are none to the downside. They've all been filled. So it can make its move. Well, let's go back to Japanese candlesticks. Sorry. On the weeklies, as you can see, when you're on Heikinashi, a supply and demand or a fair value gap is very rare. But on the Japanese candlesticks, they have obviously larger bodies, thus giving larger fair value gaps. But there is some good news. There's one right to the upside here that it could very likely go fill and then run into one of our resistance lines up here at quad 01169. And as you see down here on the daily, the Shiba Inu price, the Shiba Inu RSI has been all the way down here at oversold. So it's not quite to 30, but it is extremely below the volatility band, making a little W pattern, starting to break back through. So we'll see over the next couple of days if we can continue to rise up to the pump to the upside. Jumping over here to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a mess. Look at this. Look at all of these fair value gaps to the upside on the dailies. There are still quite a few to the downside. Let's switch to weekly here. And as you can see, the weekly fair value gaps, again, they left all these major fair value gaps. Boom, price came just recently, cleared those out. That was June 13th. Now it's playing around that same range. There are some levels down here that are still, really achievable. This $12,000 level is something that is very, very a possibility that it comes and fills that. But at the same time, we may be in for a rebound at this point. There's been a lot of really good signs in the market. When we take a look at the daily charts, we take a look at the indicators, and we look at divergence for many indicators, and we turn off fair value. Look at what's happening right now, guys. This is freaking epic, just so you are aware. Right now, on the price, this daily candle, it hit in after yesterday's candle closed. Today was the first candle to be pumping into this. But we have now turned on a bullish divergence on 7 different indicators. The RSI, which is, in my personal opinion, the most important. The stochastic, which a lot of people say is their most important. The CCI, the momentum indicator, the on-balance volume indicator, the money flow indicator, and the other money flow indicator all say Bitcoin has a bullish divergence here. We have not gotten on the indicator of our TDI RSI yet. That should come in tomorrow after this day closes. We'll probably see a bullish divergence from this angle here to this angle here. And this is a big deal. It's a really big deal. This is not the weekly divergence that I've been preaching about and hoping for so long. Let's look at the weekly charts here. On the weekly charts, we do not have a new lower low. So we do have continued price movement to the downside, but not a new lower low. Okay, so the low is still there. Still need to break that low. So if it breaks below that low, and we have a new lower low, and RSI continues to climb, even if it were to come down a little, doesn't matter. Price will be coming down, RSI moving up, even if it comes down, but does not create a new lower low. But price has a new lower low. Now we have a weekly bullish divergence. And as I've shown many, many times in the past, what happens when a weekly bullish divergence hits? Here's a weekly bullish divergence. Boom. That got a little pump there. Here's a hidden bullish divergence here. Boom. Got a massive pump there. And then also when we go back to not ETH BTC, just ETH USD, when we see this, when it had a bullish divergence here, boom, And then also in the past, bullish divergence here was the actual kickoff of the real moonshot for Ethereum, that first original one. All right, jumping over here to crypto panic to look at what's going on in the news. Let's jump to this trending section first. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Ripple CEO rips SEC as XRP soars. Cardano blockchain moves forward with Vassal upgrade. Highly anticipated Cardano Vassal hard fork upgrade scheduled to go live in a matter of hours. So that happened today. Russia, more bullish on Bitcoin than ever as it legalizes crypto for international payments. Entire crypto industry goes parabolic. If Ripple takes win over SEC in XRP lawsuit, pundit says. ADA Cardano ecosystem ready for Vassal hard fork after meeting critical mass indicators. And amount of hodled Bitcoin hits a 5-year high amid heavy market volatility. Let's take a look at this XRP article here. So key takeaways, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse went on Fox Business today to discuss the latest development in the company's lawsuit. Garlinghouse said the SEC has lost its way and was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. XRP shot up by 17% in the lead up to Garlinghouse's television appearance. XRP is surging after Brad Garlinghouse, CEO Ripple Labs, lambasted the SEC in a televised interview today. Ripple is currently embroiled in a lawsuit from the SEC, which claims it sold $1.3 billion in unregistered securities. However, there are many who argue the SEC has handled the case poorly at several critical steps, grossly overreaching its authority. Today, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse stated on Fox Business that Securities and Exchange Commission has lost its way, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. As the summary judgment filings were made public, people realized that maybe the SEC really is overreaching, said Garlinghouse. They really aren't following a faithful allegiance to the law. That's a quote from the judge in this case. He further added, we think the judge has the necessary information to make the ruling, and we think it's very clear the SEC is grossly overreaching its authority. Ripple's token XRP, already up 6% on the day, soared by an extra 18% in the lead up to Garlinghouse's appearance and comments. According to CoinGecko, it is currently trading at 48 cents, up 61% from its summer lows, but still 85% down from its all-time high of 340, which it did reach back in January.